Hello everyone and welcome to a new series for the channel where we're going to be checking out Gladiabots. Now, Gladiabot is, well, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure game of mine, or rather, the genre is a bit of a guilty pleasure, and that is AI. As many of you are aware, AI is kind of what my degree is, natural and artificial intelligence, and a life in general is something that I have been passionate about for pretty much as long as I've known how to use a computer. So this is something that I enjoy showcasing. Gladiabots is, well, it's kind of a reimagining of a very old style of a programming game where you have gladiatorial combat between bots, sometimes just single bots in a massive free-for-all, or sometimes you'd have teams of bots where largely the abilities of the bots are dictated by the game. Sometimes all bots are born equal, and so really the only thing that changes them is the AI that you make for them. Now, Gladiabot is much more of a WYSIWYG kind of game. You design the AI by dragging and dropping components onto a grid and wiring them up to create certain effects. There is no coding necessary for this game. But if there's interest in that, there are a couple of other games around that I am currently devoting my life to that I could bring onto the channel, which are very heavily coding. Let me know in the comments down below. But let's get back to Gladiabot. As I mentioned, Gladiabot is going to be coming out on early access on Steam on August the 9th and is available right now on itch.io if you're interested in joining us. And Gladiabot, like all of the games that kind of share this genre, it is about ultimately fighting other players. There's a very, very strong PvP aspect, but there's a certain amount that you can do outside of it. There's a rudimentary campaign. There's also a sandbox if you just want to tweak AIs and you just want to be on your own. Just play around with AIs and make the best AI you can without having to be competitive. You can absolutely do that. But we're going to be exploring the career mode. There do seem to be some sort of ranking system there. I've done a little bit of testing, but very, very little. But in this first episode, I'm going to be taking you through the training so that we can all get used to what Gladiabots is together. And then in the following episodes, and perhaps a little bit towards the end of this one, we will be designing, refining, and fighting with our AI all over the place. Now, I've gone through all of the tutorials, but let's just jump through it anyway. So, basic introduction. Welcome to Gladiabots, the ultimate robot fighting competition. Oh, a bold claim considering how many robot AI gladiatorial games there are. But okay, we'll see how it goes. The rule is simple. Your team is blue. It has to catch these resources and secure them at our base, while defending against your opponent's team, which is in red. We'll get a little bit of a demo. The interesting part is your robots are autonomous and obey their artificial intelligence. You can control this in no way once the match starts, and that's what I love about these things, is you're just an observer outside of giving them their initial game plan. Very well. Oh, I can click on one of them. There we go. This is the AI of your robot. This is extremely simple here. It's composed of two kinds of nodes: conditions, which are ovals, and actions, which are rectangular. Hover over a node to reveal the meaning. If myself is carrying a resource exists, that is, I exist and I am carrying a resource, or if an instance of me, there is only ever one instance of me, exists where it is carrying a resource. It's just a way of saying I'm holding something, okay? It's a bit oddly worded. Then score the resource to the closest ally base. Attack the closest enemy at short range from me or at medium range from me. Or catch the closest resource. Bots can only execute one action at a time, and they move through their AI in a counterclockwise way. So this isn't valid. It's not carrying a resource. It doesn't exist where it is carrying a resource. This one is valid. There is an enemy at short or medium range, so it's going to attack it. And that's where the evaluation of its AI stops. It won't continue trying to get a resource at this point. We've got various control options for playback, which is nice and simple. There we go. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can watch what's happening. We can speed it up if we really want to. They're expressing some sort of protection behavior, backing away from danger. Now let's start our training. Okay. First, catch this resource. Open up the editor. This is the AI. Here you will design your AIs. This is a root node. It's the starting point of your AI. This is the action node. Hover over the pointer. This is what it does. Catch the closest resource. For this action to be executed, you need to link it to the robot. Very well. There we go. We are done. Let's go. I am going to be moving through these fairly quickly. Don't worry. I will no doubt spend quite a lot of time being slow and methodical about the AIs when I'm building my own. But right now, everything is super, super simple. So hopefully I'm not moving too fast for you to be able to keep up. Basic training. Score the resources. If I am, slow the video down, put it on to like 0.5 speed, and listen to me sounding drunk while we go over things. The new objective, score the resource to your base. Easy enough. So this condition node, other nodes can be linked below it. They will then be checked if the condition is valid. This one is if myself is carrying a resource exists. There we go, all the way down to score the resource to the closest allied base. And there we are. This is the AI debugger. It will show you the current state of the AI. So that is not true, that is not true, that is not true. That is now true. We're going to go and do the thing. There we go. Speed it up. They slow down when they're carrying resources. Though some chassis don't, but quite a lot of them do. And some slow down a lot. Priorities. Okay. Ah, right, okay. So what's happened here is probably the order of execution is wrong. The way branches are not executed counterclockwise, but checked counterclockwise. Okay, so this one is currently catch the closest resource. This one is where the branch is. So we want it over here. Should execute that one first before going to that one. However, just to illustrate that again, what they were meaning when they said that, let's go. So that is true. Yep. And it's just going to head on over. It never has any reason to do anything else. So, well, simple as that. And we're good to go. Have a watch. Not true. Now true. There we are. Probably worth bearing in mind. I'm sure I'm going to get snagged by that at some point. And it'll take me like 2 or 3 minutes to work out. Oh, right, okay, yeah, I'm being stupid. Right, now let's see how to attack enemies. Okay. I'm not ready yet. So, let's attack the closest enemy. Very well. We want an action. Create an action node telling a robot to attack the closest enemy. Now, this is how you build these up. Now, at the moment, we've got a limited amount of things to do. We want to attack closest, farthest, closest. Makes more sense. Enemy. In the full, once we get them out of the tutorial, there are a lot more options to build your actions or your conditional statements. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and grab all of the resources. Nice and simple. I wish it was slightly different music, honestly, or more variance in the music. It does. You listen to the same track enough, it melts your brain a bit. Now you have a limited time to complete the mission. So what are we doing here then? Ready. Ah. Okay. We're going to fail that, absolutely, because we're shooting from so far away. Your robot is attacking from long range, with only 15% chance to hit. Now, some robots have different chances based on their chassis at the different ranges. Out here is out of range, it's out of range, long range, medium range, short range. Okay, so we need to change this. Let's improve the attack action to only target short or medium range enemies. Very well, that's easy enough to do. Edit. Now we've got some filters that we can add. So, I could say an enemy who's carrying a resource. That might come in handy. But really what I want to do here is say medium range or short range. Alternatively, another way I could do that is say that isn't at long range or isn't out of range from me. So, we won't worry about that, but it's worth noting that you can use something in the positive, as in it is at short range, or the negative, as in it is not at short range. So that will allow us to do a little bit more fine-tuning later on. There we go. Yoink, yoink. Very nearly didn't make it. Hey, save a shield. Now you've noticed the white at the top? That is our shield. And it absorbs damage before the blue health bar is impacted. If the shield isn't damaged for some time, it will automatically regenerate. Health does not. So be aware of that. There we go, and now we're going to die. Pop. Like so. Defeated. Right, so let's flee from the enemy if our shield is too low. Add a new branch saying, if my shield is below 25%, myself with shield between 0 and 25% exists, then flee from enemies. There we are. Let's pop this over there so it's checked in the right order. Want a condition. I would like myself to be the target and that my shield is below 25%. Personally, I wouldn't let it get down to 25% myself, because I feel that if it's already at 25% before I start fleeing, they're probably going to get a couple more shots in before I manage to get out of weapons range. Still, so there we are. If myself with a 0 to 25% shield exists, then action, move from or flee from all enemies. That's fine. We can be a little bit more more interesting with that option later on. There we go. Let's see how this one plays out. So we just dip in a little bit, take a couple of shots, and then get out of there once our shield dips below the threshold. There we go. Still not below 25%. But as you can see, I did lose health. It's not really that good. I can't help it, okay? I can't willingly make a subpar AI. No. Refuse. Right, do your thing. Back out. Never take any health damage. Ever. That's what I want from you. Yes, it's going to take you longer. I don't care. You will be a pristine robot by the end of it. Ready for more battles to come. That I cannot make that go back out. Well, I can. It gets restored. I mean, you don't actually have robots that you take to each battle and you can name them. I wish you did. I really wish you did. And you had your favorites. And you gave them the best skins, but no, they are basically just, you just get new ones every battle. It makes me a little bit sad, but in my heart of hearts, I'm naming them. Right, so what are we doing here? If A or B elimination. Okay. See, we've stopped there. Let's have a quick look. We were attacking if they were at medium range, but now they're within short range, we have stopped. So let's go ahead and change that. Checking only for medium range is actually not enough. You need to test if the enemy's at short range or medium range. Now, you can do this by connecting that up if you want to. Alternatively, you could probably just go in there and adjust it, but in this case, it wants us to do it in this particular way, so we'll let that happen. There we go. Pop. Realistically, though, you can almost always tell them multiple things to consider as the conditional. So instead of, is it at short range? If so, do this. You can say, is it at short range or medium range? If so, do this. In fact, that's what we've been doing a little bit on the previous one where I changed it to shield being 25 or 25 to 50%. Right, let's have a look at you then. Okay, you're backing out. Let's have a look. You don't always want me to flee from your enemies when your shield is low. You still have the advantage if your health is higher than your enemies, but only if you're facing an equal number of enemies and the enemy is of the same class. Because if it's of a different class, if it's got a different chassis, it might have a different weapon and their weapon might hit harder. But as a general rule of thumb, all other things being equal, as long as you've got more health, stand and fight is what they're saying here, and that's fine. Let's get that one going. So back out there with your subpar AI for preserving your health. Silly robot. There we go. And come on back. Right. Now then. At this point... Oh, we were defeated. I wonder why that happened. Insert the enemy's health condition in... Oh, that's because I didn't do that properly. What a dip. There we go. That'll help a little bit better. Oh, can you please line up properly as well? Otherwise, that's just going to make my brain bleed a bit. There we are. And no one needs a bleeding brain. Right, go. There we go. And we win. Hooray! Only just though. Intermediate training. Teamwork. Now we're getting to some more of the meat and guts. Each bot can use its own AI, allowing you to use team-based strategies. So, team setup. The different combinations of AIs to complete the mission. It makes sense. So we've got an attacker, we've got a gatherer. Okay, ready. So my gatherer doesn't care about fighting. It's just going to go and gather. My attacker is going to focus entirely on trying to kill enemies that are going for my gatherer. Nice and easy, because the enemy only wanted to go for the gatherer. They were probably trying to prioritize something that was carrying a resource. Intermediate training, shotgun. Okay. Gladiabots features several bot classes. Each class has its own pros and cons. The shotgun class has a weak health, but moves very fast when not carrying a resource, and does devastating damage at short range. Alrighty-o. Shotgun is more effective at short range. Let's wait for the enemy to be close. Attack closest enemy at short range from me or medium range from me. Move towards the closest enemy. Well, I mean, let's just adjust this a little bit, shall we? Turn that off. Apply. Let's just get nice and close. Go. Because otherwise it's going to lose. As you can see, the health bar is very different. Got a decent sized shield, but there we go. In fact, its shield is quite beastie. Mission complete. The sniper. I imagine quite a lot of you will like this one. Now, the sniper class moves slowly, has a weak shield and health, but always hits whatever the attack range except out of range, and inflicts high damage on its target. Now, as you recall, different ranges. This cannot miss. If you're within its attack range, it will hit you when it attacks. The sniper is more effective at long range. Let's take advantage from it before the enemy gets close. So we want to change this to attack it at long range as well. Pretty much attack it whenever. That's fine. So with that, let's go. There we go. Oh, that's glorious. I like the little animation. Does quite a lot of damage too. Pop. And again. We will win, but it'll be a little bit closer than I'd like. I do like that animation, to be fair. Alright, machine gunner. The machine gun is very slow, but it isn't slowed when carrying a resource, because it's already moving as slow as it can. It is very resistant and has huge firepower. Once it starts attacking, the machine gun unleashes a huge firepower. What do you mean by that? It should not stop firing, even if its target is retreating. Okay, so attack closest enemy attacking me, and attack closest enemy not out of range from me and attacked by me. Now, what this is saying, you kind of want to swap these around in a way. If the enemy is attacking us, so it's moved in, the closest one of the ones attacking me should always keep attacking. If like two attack me and one decides to retreat, then switch to the one that's attacking me and just keep going until no one's attacking me. At that point, attack the closest enemy not out of range and attacked by me. Now, the and attacked by me means that once all enemies are retreating, or if no one is attacking us, then priority should be given to the one that I last attacked, effectively. Whichever one I was currently in the process of attacking, just don't stop. Now then, let's actually see your ranges. Medium range 50%, long range only 10%, mind. Still, let's have a watch of this. Okay, so just constantly firing. That one's bailed out. Ah, it takes a bit of warm-up. I see. But once it's firing, it just keeps going. Okay, makes sense. There we go. Reduce their shield. They've bailed. Oh, this is going to take a long time for you to actually win this fight, I'm going to be honest. But at this point, you'll never take any more health damage. So I see that. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Once you've engaged, probably just keep going. Personally, I would say stop it once you hit long range, because you've only got a 10% chance. Still, when you're shooting that many bullets, 1 in 10 is actually not too bad. Varying our team composition can change the results of a match. The enemy team has all of the same stuff. Okay, class aware attacker. Okay, interesting. Try different class combinations. No, I'm actually kind of happy with you. Well, alright, I'll go with shotgun, I suppose. There we go. I want to see your AI. Okay, go. Let's begin. Alright, if myself is below 0 to 25% shield, flee from the closest enemy. If you are a shotgunner, attack the closest enemy at short range. If you are a machine gunner, attack the closest enemy at short range from me, or medium range from me, or at long range from me, and attacked by me. Or attack the closest enemy at short range or medium. So only engage if they're within short or medium, but if you have already engaged, then just keep going. If you're assault class, short or medium range. If you're a sniper, pretty much attack anyone if you're already attacking them, and attack anyone if they're not out of range. That makes sense. If none of these conditions are true, approach. That seems reasonable. Shotgun is moving in. Oh, backing out. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. We lost the shotgunner already. Oh, shame. Oh well. Ooh, you're bailing. You're going to finish that one off at this point. Oh no, you decided not to. You must have moved out of your attack range. Ah, yeah, good. That's fine. Pop. Very unlikely this one's going to survive from this one. No. There we go. The machine gunner neutralizes the shield and then the sniper just finishes them off. It's actually not a bad little combination. I might bear that in mind when I'm setting up my teams. Once we actually get to the meat and guts. Advanced training. Optimization. Very well. Certain conditions are not always necessary. If an action cannot be executed, it will be considered as invalid. Your bot will then continue to check the rest of its AI. So, for example, score a resource to the closest base. Note that the secure action will be invalid if your bot isn't carrying any resource. So, yeah, makes sense. So, it can't do that if it's not got a resource, so it just goes and grabs a resource. So there we are. Nice and easy. We don't have to check to see if it's already carrying one. The fact that it's not carrying something which is required for the job that it's trying to do will invalidate it anyway. Pursue the current target. Okay. Destroy your opponent before you can score. You can filter target by your own current action on them. So, attack the closest enemy attacked by me. Attack the closest enemy at short range from me. Approach. So, the way that this is going to happen, we're going to try and get to it until we're in short range. At that point, we'll start engaging, and then we'll just not stop, even as it moves further and further away outside of our short range. So we won't keep stopping and moving forward and stopping and moving forward and stopping and moving forward, which might happen otherwise. Certainly would happen if you were using a sniper, because they've got a long kind of setup time for their attack. Pursue tagged target. Destroy your opponent before it can score. You can tag certain entities and target them in your actions. Note that your bot is the only one to see the tags it places. There are team tags, but there are also individual tags. So we've got move towards the closest enemy, tag the closest enemy at short range from me, and then attack. Oh, grabbed it. Let's just move these across and move the whole thing over a little bit so it looks nicer. There we go. Attack the closest enemy that is tagged. There we go. So that was not the thing I wanted to click. Badly. Let me go back in. There we go. Whomp. And there we go. Whomp. Use the left-hand side actions to tag your enemy and attack it. Okay. Oh. Once it gets in range, it'll be tagged, but only for this robot. And then it's just going to continue attacking anything that it is tagged. So you can kind of have the robots give themselves little markers, things to use as priority markers, or you can have one robot that kind of manages the overall team's strategy. That would actually be pretty cool. An overseer. Focus fire. Team tags are a bit different than simple tags. Indeed, team tags are visible by all your team members. They can be used to transmit information or orders between bots. Set one of your bots to use the leader AI. It will then tag the target to focus fire on. Okay, team setup. Focus fire leader. Good to go. All of my robots are going to attack this one, because these ones are using attack closest, so the one directly opposite is always closest, but whereas my robots are deciding to just employ focus fire. We still lost one, but, you know, 1 for 3 isn't too bad. We could have avoided it though. Advanced training, connector nodes. When combining several conditions and actions, AI can quickly become cluttered. Connector nodes can be used to simplify the layout of your AI. Create a connector node and use it to link the 2 conditions to the 3 actions below. Okay, so we're going to want a connector node right there. One, and then there we go. So the way this is going to work, if an enemy is at medium or short range, drop any resource you're currently carrying, attack the closest enemy at short range, or approach it if you're not already at short range. Otherwise, try to score a resource you're carrying. Otherwise, try and get a resource. Sounds quite reasonable to me. There we go. Now we'll be watching you. Once they're close enough, you'll stop and go and fight. In fact, both of you have now decided to stop. There we go. And they are heading for the resources themselves. Right, so they're not actually trying to attack. Well, they are if someone is carrying a resource. Otherwise, they just want to grab the resources. That is awful AI. There we go. And we win. Nice and simples. And sub-AIs. You can reuse an AI inside another one. For that, you can use sub-AI node types. This would allow us to keep things nice and clean to us. Select node type, sub-AI, create a sub-AI node to reuse the available AI. So there we are. I would like a retreat node. Click this button to open the sub-AI. So if my shield is below 25%, retreat. There we are. Click this button to display the AI list. There we are. Right, let's move this one across. I would then like another one. What happened there? Womp. Sub-AI. I would like attack. And then finally, sub-AI. Let's have a look at these ones. So if there's an enemy at short range or medium range for me, attack it, otherwise approach. And gather, try to score it, or collect. Well, just a way to keep your AIs nice and tidy. There we go. Now hopefully I've set this up in the correct way, though you're still going to take a bit of damage. It does frustrate me a little. Yeah. Perfect. So you only really need to make a specialist AI once, and then you can just include it with the sub-AI and everything. Was that the end of that one? Yes, it was. So we've done all of the training. Fantastico. Let's go ahead and check out one of the career ones. The first one... oh, actually, no. Career is when you're actually doing PvP. I meant campaign. So, chapter 1. I've completed 3 of them. We're not going to worry too much about that. Now, we don't have an AI yet, so I just want to see the conditions. Ah, look at those skins. I don't have those skins. Much sad. Okay. Oh, we've got the training AI. Let's go and make a bespoke AI, shall we? We'll make it super simple. We're fighting against 4 enemies, so let's not go full ball, but let's just make something simple. So, super simple AI. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Nope. Want to change the air. Okay, so first and foremost, we want a retreat clause. So condition, if myself. Now, this is where things get complicated. In the tutorial room, we were super being handicapped with just, it's like, no, don't worry about all of the other, you'll hurt yourself if you look at all those icons, just look at these ones. There are so many targets, all sorts of things, resources, oh my lord. But we want myself. Now, if my health, my shield health is below either of these, then, 0 up to 50, then what I would like is, first and foremost, if I'm currently holding onto a resource, drop it. There we go. Otherwise, actually, let's tailor this one very slightly, and, no, enemy action, attacked by an enemy. If I'm currently being attacked and my shield is less than full or half. See, the thing is I would flee, but only for a little bit until I stopped being attacked, and then I would approach again, possibly before my shield has had time to regenerate. So no, we will simply back out of any conflict until my shield is at least 50%. action, we want to flee from all enemies. We could say any enemy within short or medium range. Don't worry about ones that are long range or out of range. Just back up, because they're probably not going to be able to hit you. I could say at long range, though, and be extra super careful. Yeah, okay. Just back up until they're no longer in a position to damage us. That is our retreat module. Next up, I would like, and we're not going to have a different team composition here. This is going to be a one-size-fits-all kind of AI. Right. I want to... Now, we can approach this in two ways. We can either try to just win by getting enough points, or win by eliminating all of the enemy. And I'm more of a kill all the bad guys kind of thing. It's like, nah, don't allow them to exist over there doing their own thing. Be aggressive about it. So, yeah. Actually, we wanted this one to be a conditional statement. So, condition. I do believe that you need to score at least one. Even if you wiped out the entire enemy army, if you haven't scored any points, you don't automatically win. So we do need a gathering mechanic, but generally. So if an enemy exists, that's pretty much it. If an enemy exists, that's all I want. If there are enemies left, then, well, actually, in fact, you know what? We can add this as a condition. I don't need to flee if there's no enemies around. I don't even need to be worrying about my shield capacity if there are no things left that can actually harm me. Alright, first, I want you to attack an enemy that is tagged by me. That is tagged 1. So, attack the closest number 1 tagged enemy. And in terms of tagging, if you can't attack it, no, we'll change that slightly. I only want to attack if it's at short or medium range. So there we go. Next, I would like you to, if you can't see it, approach the tagged enemy. Enemy that is tagged 1. There we go. And finally, actually, I'm going to make a, let's move these down a little bit so I've got a little bit more room. In fact, you know what? We should probably make a connector for this so that I can move them all around a little bit easier. There we go. I can only draw the line out like this. There we are. So I'll bring this one down there. And last but not least, we need a condition for tagging. And let's make another connector for this one, because it's going to be a fairly simple one, but I do want 2 things to happen. I want you to tag an enemy who is, let's choose the closest enemy who is carrying a resource. If they happen to target current action, moving to a resource or moving to an allied base, is there a way for me to check if they are carrying a resource? Yeah. So go for any that are currently carrying a resource first. And tag any enemies that are, or rather the closest enemy that is, yeah, literally just the closest enemy. So I want to prioritize going for any enemies that are currently equipped, currently carrying any kind of resources. Other than that, I just want a simple gather AI on this side, so we'll have another connector. Yeah, we'll just space them out equally. Down here, action, catch a resource. The closest one will do. And then down here, drop it off. There we are. Nice and simple. This should hopefully work, but, you know, famous last words. So, super simple AI is now complete. Let's go and test this out on the first level. So, team setup, super simple AIs. Hooray! Begin. But they're headed for resources. Interesting. Oh, well, actually, no. The first thing that happens is they decided, oh, actually, there's enemies on the map, so we should probably go out and destroy them all utterly. I approve. There we go. Let's see how you've decided you tagged that one. That is absolutely the one you want to destroy, and you don't care about anything else like that. Go. The enemy have one resource, and once we've popped all these... Oh, dear. I put that in the wrong order, didn't I? Ha ha ha. Yes, I did. Even though we just saw it in the... I told you it was going to happen. I said it would, 100%. But there we go. Right. Let's see that happen properly now. They'll play through in exactly the same way. There we go. We win. Oh, derpy is not even the word for it. But there we go. That's our first mission. I do hope you're enjoying the coverage of the game so far, and for those of you who are into these sorts of games, do consider picking up on itch.io or adding it to your wish list on Steam. In the next episode, we will in fact be going through a couple more of the chapters, and then once we've cut our teeth a little bit on some of the campaign AI, we'll go and jump into the career. But we're gonna want to have gotten to at least a point in the campaign where we've diversified our score, and we've got different class bots and different AIs, or at least an AI that will acknowledge their class and thus give them different roles within the team as a result. But that's going to be it from me. Do let me know what you're thinking about Gladiabots in the comments down below. But until next time, do take care, everyone.